Hello and welcome to QSEV's Fact Friday. My name is Diana Nogueira. I am a medical writer and work at QSEV as a senior consultant in the clinical team. One of our clients asked about the difference between a clinical development plan and a clinical development strategy. I am here today to answer this question. The Medical Device Regulation 2017/745 requires a clinical development plan, short CDP, to be part of the clinical evaluation of a medical device. This CDP aims to indicate progression from exploratory investigations, such as first-in-man studies, feasibility and pilot studies, to confirmatory investigations, such as pivotal clinical investigations and post-market clinical follow-up or PMCF studies. This should be accompanied by an indication of milestones and a description of potential acceptance criteria. In short, the clinical development plan is a history of the development of a medical device. The availability of a CDP eases the identification of any data gaps or outstanding issues that need to be addressed by clinical investigations. This means that the CDP generates clinical evidence. The clinical evidence, together with non-clinical data generated from bench testing and other relevant documentation, such as compliance to applicable standards, shall allow the manufacturer to demonstrate conformity of the device with the general safety and performance requirements. The clinical development plan shall be part of the technical documentation. In contrast, the clinical development strategy is a concept to implement each step or study of the clinical development plan. It involves designing the study, writing the clinical investigation plan or study protocol, and executing the investigation under consideration of applicable regulatory requirements. This involves clinical operations. The clinical development strategy is not a single document that is part of the technical documentation, but may consist of different single documents. It is part of a strategic and operational roadmap that leads from early design to launch of the product. The process of clinical evaluation itself, this means writing a clinical evaluation plan and a clinical evaluation report, can help develop a clinical development strategy, as it aids in the identification of data gaps. Some of the gaps may have been already addressed by published studies. New information on the state of the art may become available from a systematic and critical appraisal of the literature. So, in a nutshell, a clinical development plan is the history of clinical investigations of a medical device, both past and planned, whereas the clinical development strategy is the pathway to get there. Now you may ask how to get there, right? Indeed, there are some hints in the regulation. The MDR says in its preamble 57 that for Class 3 devices and for certain Class 2B devices, a manufacturer should be able to consult an expert panel on its clinical development strategy and proposals for clinical investigations. This consultation is not mandatory, but can be conducted on a voluntary basis. The expert panel could be composed of key opinion leaders in the concerned medical field. If you are unsure about the pathway and need input from clinical or regulatory experts, please feel free to contact the QSEV team. We will be happy to help you. Thank you for watching this vlog. If you have any further questions for our Fact Fridays, please do not hesitate to send them to factfriday@qsevgroup.com. Goodbye.